Hello and welcome to a new episode of Wanted the Four Stars podcast. This is obviously George doing the intro, not Phil. Phil is busy working, so it's just me and Dave tonight. Hello, Dave.
You all right, sir?
I'm good. I don't really know how to do the intro for this one, honestly, so I kind of breezed through there, but we do have a visual this time. We've lost Phil for the last two episodes, his camera, and now we've just lost him completely. Some say he will return in a few weeks' time there.
We have honestly not sacked him off until he fixes the issue. Rumour has it. I've seen on the internet we might have sacked him off until then, but that's just a rumour. Definitely just a rumour.
Definitely, and he does want to get Force Friday stuff as well, so let's hope that he is, got a camera to show us what he's bought. But no, this is episode 16 now. This was weird in the schedule today because our title was Breathe, Just Breathe, and maybe people were like, well, why is that? And it's like, well, we got Last Jedi news, a lot of it. We got merchandise news, a lot of it. And we got Battlefront news, a lot of it. This is going to be a pretty action-packed episode. I guess that's the only perk of being two people, that it will be slightly quicker. And I will say, Ara, we don't have a canteen talk today because there's just so much stuff to get through. So I guess if we just start with the main one.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Entertainment Weekly, who obviously do an annual Star Wars thing now, where they seem to get the rights to the stuff, they dropped their two covers and a whole bunch of images and articles for the new film. And we've all kind of agreed with ourselves that we haven't read the articles because I've heard spoilery things are included. I've had one thing said to me, and although many of them are probably minor things like this Porg went on a Millennium Falcon, there are some things where the one I heard is something that shouldn't have been said until I was in the cinema, so that annoyed me quite a lot. So we're going to be talking about the images and our thoughts on them. We're not going to go into the literature of it. There's one or two little quibbits I've read, like, Andy Serkis was speaking about Snoke, and they said that he's motion capture, like stuff like that I don't care about. When it's plot points, just for anyone listening at home, we are not doing any of that. We're just here to talk about the pictures and a couple of other things. So shall we kickstart? We've got the covers up. If you want to check out our Facebook, we've got all the pictures on there as well. And we're just going to go through them individually. And obviously, for anyone listening on MP3, we're also going to be obviously talking about them so you can know which picture's which. But we'll just go straight away. We've got two covers, and this is the trend now. When a Star Wars film comes out, if you're a magazine company, you get as many covers as you want because people will buy every single one. I've got two on import from America, and we've got one of Rey in her lightsaber pose and the other an amazing sort of close-up of Luke hiding in the hood.
I mean, straight away, the two covers, the one that jumps out immediately is the Luke cover. Although Rey's got the lightsaber and that's sort of front and center and bright, and that picture of Luke is everything that this film is trying to portray. This is what we're waiting for. So for me, that cover, that hood, which looks, I don't know if it is going to be the cloak from Return of the Jedi, because we've seen pictures, I don't know if they're in this layer, but he's got quite a short cloak by the looks of things in some of the footage that I've seen. So whether this is the Jedi cloak is another thing, but that to me that's the picture. That's the cover I'd want.
Yeah, and the other thing you notice as well, he's got a different hood now to the episode 7 ending. The colours have changed. That's the one thing I've always noticed, especially obviously everyone knows I've got hooked on them pop things. It was like light brown, and then now it's black, so I can just imagine the merchandise will do, oh, we're going to release Luke, hooded Luke, and then they're just going to keep doing it, but it matches his beard so much better than the episode 7 one did. And I mean, it's only a hood, but it's just an amazing image, and you're right, it does sum up, I think, what this one will be like.
It's just, I think because you had the white robes as well at the end of, and we've seen on the figures that have come out, you had those white robes on, and I think this darker tone with just his face showing out of there. I mean, yes, obviously it's not an original photo. It probably has been pretty heavily photoshopped around the edges to get his face like that in there, but it's still, to me, that's the cover that caught my interest. The Rey one is fine, but there's nothing really new there. She's still got her hair up, which she had in the last film, and obviously we've seen a lot of pictures of her in the marketing of her hair being down. So there's not really a lot new in that picture of Rey. So that's why the Luke one certainly is the one that struck me more than the other.
Yeah, and I think with the Rey one as well, I think that may have been on the lanyards at Celebration this year as well, because it's opposed with Sin before. But you're right, there's nothing new about it, and obviously we had a whole film the last time for so many pictures of remarketing. It's just nice to get more pictures of Luke because we haven't seen him in so long. He's been in 2 shots in 30 years. So I think that's the main thing. And then if we just We'll just go into the next one. So the next picture is obviously Luke and Rey on Skellig together. This is the get off my lawn moment from Gran Torino. It looks like Luke is in a kind of house, and Rey looks like she's kind of trying to sell him something. I don't know. It just looks amazing. It's in the Skellig background too. All like you can tell that's real. That's not CGI, and that won't age.
That's the first thing that jumps out to me exactly about that photo. That is at a real place. That's the real background. That's what was shot. There's nothing green or blue behind them at all. That is all rocks that are there. The real rocks. George might have some rocks. Allegedly. But yeah, so I mean, that is a great shot. Obviously, this is Luke's home or where he's been living, or it was part of the temple, so that's what he's looking for. So hopefully this is what this actually turns out to be, that it is where the first Jedi temple was. But yeah, I mean, we've got Rey in that cloak, which it's hard to think when this might be in the film because she's obviously still got the same hair. Again, I'm just going back to the hair. She's got her hair the same, but she wasn't wearing that when she arrived on Skellig at the end of The Force Awakens. So yeah, it's obviously going to be fairly early on. You can actually see a bit of, not animosity almost, but a feeling that the fact he's hidden back in the background, he's still hiding away, even though he's now speaking to somebody and who's found him, he's still shying away from everything by hiding in that archway and not being out, is what that says to me. And that's just stupid and a bit arty about it. But yeah, that's the feeling that brings across. Yeah,
it's the change of clothes, and it's not them on top of the hill together this time. It's something a bit different, because even when you go back to the Vanity Fair photo shoot from last time, there was only so many, them standing outside us on Skellig, them on Skellig. Oh, look, the whirlpool, the trailers, them on Skellig from the first film. And, it's just nice to get somewhere else on the island. And I just can't wait to see more from it. That's truly going to be, I think, this Luke story arc. Obviously, it's called The Last Jedi, and it is a big story, but the Luke training with Rey is going to probably be the most important storyline in Star Wars history, I think, at the minute, in terms of going into the cinema, finding out what comes next.
I think it has to be. I mean, calling the film The Last Jedi, it's got these two who are in. Rey's strong in the Force, finding Luke. It's got to be the overriding throw. And there'll be lots of stuff going on around it, but that has got to be the center point and the main focus of all this film, and everything else will just be outside of that, building around it. And obviously the build-up of the Resistance again. And so, I mean, it's all going to be interesting, but that's really where it's at for me, the story.
Definitely. Should we go on to the next one?
Yeah, go.
This is a fun one. Everyone seems to have two different opinions of these. We've got a picture of Snoke's Praetorian guards on duty. I like them, but a lot of people hate them. Where do you stand? Because I don't think you get people that are in the middle. I think people either like designs.
Yeah, it's at the moment, to be honest, I'm probably more on the not liking them side. I love that they are the red trooper, and they're still the higher up the trooper, like the Imperial Guards, that they get this outfit. The only thing, to be honest, I'm not struck on about them is the helmet. And I think it's the rounded head with a sheer drop off in the middle. Like that's obviously pointed towards the front from the look of the picture. But that's the only thing. It's differentiation of those shapes on top of one another. Now, on the picture that we're looking at from the Entertainment Weekly, the troop at the back actually looks a little better. Wait and see more of the front of the face. But yeah, that just seems just a bit out of place. But as far as the weaponry goes and the rest of the look goes, and if these are the guys who are looking after Snoke, it's still awesome. I love that they're keeping with that theme of the Red Guards always being with the highest person in the Empire, or what's the word I'm looking for?
First Order.
First Order. There we go. Thank you. So yeah, I say the design is still. I don't quite take on it, but I'm sure it'll grow once we see them actually in moving and in the film itself. I'm sure the angles won't be as severe as that.
Yeah, I mean, I like them, but it looks like a cross between a kind of a jousting knight's helmet on top of samurai armor, and obviously they've got their weapons. And Ryan Johnson's already come out and said about them that it is based off samurai, like he's not shying away from it. And he made the point I agree with. He said that you look at the Emperor's Royal Guard, they look nice, yes, but you can't imagine them actually killing anyone. And in the comics, in the EU, yes, they're these cool, badass guys, but he's got a point. And with these, obviously, we're probably going to see more of it in the film.
Yeah, there's no cloak to throw aside, and then, I've got to get my weapon. Oh, it's out the other side of the cloak that I just threw over there, and I kind of get to it.
Yeah, they're probably just there every day on duty, 24/7, not getting paid. They're probably just... I'm interested to see what they do with them, but yeah, we need to see more of them because so many people are split. I think the film, if they give them a kill or just something interesting to do, then I think they've got something where people will be hooked on them. But the red, it does look very plasticky, but I guess that's also the point of samurai. But time will tell with these. I think these are out of nowhere. These have come out as one of the main marketing ploys for the film, and I feel that that's only going to carry on, especially when he gets the merchandise later on. So, oh, we can't do another Stormtrooper, Flame Trooper, Snow Trooper. What's next? And I think we've got the Praetorian Guards, and then there's going to be the First Order Executions, which we talk about later on. But what we also have is a picture of Finn and Rose. It's literally just them standing in a doorway. Finn looks like he's on crutches. I've been on crutches enough recently to know how the arm is placed. Is that just me? Sounding a bit weird?
I'd have thought something like that, or leaning just on a table, something like that. Something that he's definitely leaning on something. His arms bent a certain way. But I mean, I love his shirt. Looks very much like Han Solo's shirt from the original films. That open neck, sort of rounded neck. I love that. And that these guys are going to be again one of our main side stories, and there are things coming that you see of their mission that they're going to be sent on it. I think this is going to be. Obviously, Rose has now been introduced as one of our other main characters that's going to become a big part of the Resistance. So I think it's really good. Obviously, we're seeing just inside of a ship. It's probably a Resistance ship before, well, maybe getting briefed on the mission. But yeah, it's a hard one to talk about because other than seeing the two main characters on there, Finn's the character we've seen before. He's still wearing, I'm guessing it's his jacket now. But yeah, it's a nice shot. And Rose is an interesting character. I can't wait to find out more about her because as of right now, there's still so little about her. We know she's in the Resistance, but very little is known about her. So it'll be interesting the more that we get about her and to find out her character and how she becomes involved with the main story of it rather than just, isn't it mechanic she was quoted as? Mechanic. So to see how she gets into the main arc of these guys is going to be really interesting as well.
I'd say next on we have literally Kylo Ren sit down at a table showing off his new grizzly fresh scar.
Not as grizzly as I thought it would be.
No, I mean, Rian Johnson said before, hasn't he, that he hated the what happened at the end of Episode 7 with it, and I'll agree with that. When Kylo originally got kind of decapitated but not decapitated, that was a very nasty scar in his head. But it just looks so stupid that it covered his nose and all of it as well, where with this, it looks, I don't want to say it looks better, it looks like a scar, but in terms of an aesthetic for a film and a character, and putting makeup on every day, it's probably a lot easier for them to work with. But especially when obviously it's Anakin, it's Anakin's grandson. That Anakin's got the scar as well.
Yeah, it invokes everything. Again, invokes everything you wanted to. He's sat obviously in probably a Star Destroyer at that point, or their new base, wherever that is. So they've always got the lovely white windows in the background to light up. His outfit looks to have changed quite a bit from the last film. I don't know if it's a different design slightly, but it doesn't look. It looked very much like a wound around him on the last film. This looks like a much bigger body, like an actual suit. So I think that's going to change. Obviously, what we haven't seen is have we seen any pictures of him in the helmet since the new things have started coming out?
We haven't at all, actually. Even on the merchandise, which you get to later, they're not doing the helmet one, but obviously the helmet is in the trailer. However, it's shattered. So I wonder how it will go down. I'm sure he will be in the helmet, but I wonder for how long. I think that might be the answer, is will he finish the film in human or helmet form?
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, this is a different helmet because obviously his last helmet got dropped on that floor, and whether he picked that up again after he killed his dad and sent him on his merry way. But yeah, it's a great image. I think Adam Driver is he's a really good character actor. I think the part didn't give him a lot to play with in the first film. And I think this is going to be a big movie for him, and especially since we know that he's going off, he wants to complete his training as well. So I think the paradox of seeing him doing his training and Rey doing hers I think that'd be cool to see both the dark side and the light side getting trained at the same time, or if that's what indeed Luke is doing with Rey, because from what we hear is he's a bit reluctant on that side. So it's going to be, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But it's a great image. I think it's really striking. I'm glad we saw a nice clean close up of his face and the scar, which has been, it's been in some images, but it's been obviously toys, which you never quite tell exactly which way it's done, if it's right the way it is. But yeah, I like it. I love that the fact of put it where it is and it's not half his face gone and things like that. So yeah, really, really like it.
Next up we have, well, it's an image we've seen before. Everyone's seen it. The TIE Silencer was obviously announced a couple of weeks ago on the Star Wars show. They literally used the same image on Entertainment Weekly, but they've been allowed to zoom out and just show a TIE fighter getting shot next to him. In honesty, we know Battlefront, he's got his own ship. We all knew the TIE Silencer was coming, a new ship. I can't wait to see it in action. I'm assuming he's as good a pilot as his granddad. They'll make a sense of it. We already know Rey's a good pilot, so we don't know what the story is going to show, but we do see a TIE fighter getting shot next to him. I'd imagine he will be in the space battle scene in the first teaser trailer. But that would be interesting, just seeing him do something else other than quiver, shout, seeing behind well, not the wheel, the I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I
just love the design of this. I love the back to that classic TIE Interceptor look, the wings on this, harken back to the old toys and things. I absolutely adore it. It's been kind of squashed down a little bit in size the way they've got it here, but yeah, I think that's looks excellent, the image. And hopefully just more space battles is what we need in this film. It is Star Wars after all. To see them in the stars a bit more would be something I'd quite happily welcome. So we didn't get enough of that in the last film. I mean, Rogue One made up for that by an absolute mile because those space battles were incredible. So yeah, but it's a great ship. I'm looking forward to seeing that in flight.
Next up, we have Finn piloting what looks like one of them weird red smoky pod racer things. He's kind of, he's not smiling, but you can just tell he's having fun. We don't know what they're called. I'm sure someone somewhere knows what they're called right now, but at the minute we just see him literally driving. Like, you see the red smoke in the background. Creates the planet, isn't it? Something like that. So
yes, and I think that's because the looks like the fin is digging into the sand, and that's what's blowing up the smoke behind them, like the red. I think that's the planet's surface that's blowing up behind them as they go through, scraping along. And we know that they're heading on from the teaser trailer, that they're heading on towards the new AT-AT space, the new walkers.
And one of the books did say that Poe Dameron, well, the merchandise as well, says that Poe Dameron is Captain Poe Dameron. He's piloting one of these. So that will be interesting. I don't know if there's two pilots for these, but I just can't wait for it. I mean, yes, we've seen AT-ATs before, but it's going to be nice to see a new form of ship. We don't know what these are called yet, like I've said, but it's just nice to see a new design. At least half this battle's got a new design. We can give you that one.
Yeah, just nice to see Finn that he's going to be in the heart of all the action outside of this main story. He's really going to be in the heart of it, flying all these ships, and I think he looks, like you say, he looks like he's having a great time in that cockpit, and you can just tell in his mind he's just like, I'm flying a ship in Star Wars.
Next up, we literally have Rey standing by some steps. That's literally it. She's in Ireland. That's what you need to know.
She is in Ireland. There's actually a thing of Guinness just out of the shot. Now, obviously, you've been to Skellig, and obviously know. I don't know if you may have seen these parts. Obviously, it's a lot of rocks and a lot of steps. Who knows if you've been this part? But yeah, she's got a jacket that she got from the Resistance base somewhere, already fitted for her when she arrived. But yeah, so it's hard to kind of put anything on it. Yeah, you're right. It's just Rey in front of Grey Rock. And until we see some more context behind it, it's still a great shot of her. She looks amazing. She actually looks bigger, as in she's been working out. You can definitely tell the size of her, like just the size of her arms have changed. That she looks a bit broader. So I think you can definitely see the difference between, even though it's literally straight after, you can definitely see the difference in her from what my thoughts. I knew that you can see, and I think she's changed her shape a bit. She looks stronger.
I honestly, I can't tell the difference, so I'll leave that with you.
Maybe I've paid too much attention to it, and I shouldn't admit that.
That's all right. Nothing can get as worse as the next one.
It's a good job Phil's not here, because you're really upset.
we have a Porg on the Millennium Falcon, and we have Chewbacca looking at it like he's angry. He literally just looks angry that it's in the picture. His face is our thoughts. And you know what? A lot of other Star Wars people have been commenting on these Porgs. We've got more to talk about them later in the merchandise section. Toy, whatever.
Yeah,
toy shelf.
yeah.
But they're everywhere. They're all over the internet now. I'm gonna hate them.
They're very much like before we had with the guards. These are very much love hate. I've seen no one go in the middle like neither way. I don't like these at all. I don't know why they would be on the Millennium Falcon. I don't know why there's one, unless Chewie has taken that as a memento and it's stuffed and that's dead. Then I'm okay with it. But I think that's actually coming along for the adventure. I think Chewie's going to befriend this Porg, unfortunately. You know what? They are going to appeal to a lot of people. A lot of people have seen them, and I've just seen across the internet. People have embraced them, really, really embraced them, and I don't get it. For me, that's the only thing I can write. There's a few people on Facebook and pages that I follow, and these have blown up. Like people have loved them. One page even changed its name slightly, so it had Porg in the title, and it's just like I don't get it. George, I know you're kind of with me in this, that you're not a fan either.
People start to compare us to Ewoks, and we haven't seen the film yet. However, I visited Skellig, not to be like self-aware, but one of the tour guides said there's so many puffins, the birds that were on the island, that the tour guide said they were so inspired by the puffins, they went and made their own creature to use in the new film. And this has been known for quite a while now. And I personally have thought with these, the reason these have probably been invented is to CGI them over the top of puffins in case, and for the long shots, because trust me, you know how many there are is absolutely insane. I thought it could be that. From a story point, it's just animal. We know there's animatronic ones, we know there's CG ones, we know there's puppeteered ones. And people are comparing to the Ewoks, which is really irritating me because I love the Ewoks. And I get this is the age thing, but the Ewoks served a purpose to the storyline. I have a feeling that these won't. And what makes it worse from the next image, they're not alone either. I cannot really. Little kids are going to love them, of course they will. Like basically, this way I see it. BB-8 was the merchandise for Episode 7. Everywhere, BB-8, left, right, center, Sphero, remote controls, life size, toys, Legos, all of it. BB-8. Okay, we've milked BB-8. We've got Black BB-8, but he's a villain. He won't sell as well. What about Porg? Let's create a little cute Furby, and I just hate them. You just know they're not good. I mean, I might like them when the film's on, but I'm not hopeful.
Yeah, without the context of what they actually do and why they're on this adventure after the island, or I'm hoping even if this is maybe they're sat on the island, but Chewie's got his headset on, so I can't see them. That this must be off the island and flying. So it just, I don't see how they can bring story point. They're tiny creatures, obviously, so they can't do much. As I said, I don't get the fascination, don't get the hype. I get why they would sell, but then again, I really trust Rian Johnson, who's written this movie himself, that he wouldn't write in something like this just to please the toy manufacturers. These have obviously been seen and everyone's made these things. They're going to go crazy for them. They're going to be everywhere. But that's the thing. I dislike them, but have full trust in what Rian Johnson's doing. So I'm very much in two ways of how to think about them. Right now, I'm with George. I don't get it. I don't like them. Get out my Star Wars.
Should we talk about something that I think could be worse?
Okay.
Turtle nuns.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle nuns.
I don't know if anyone's seen this. They are literally turtle faces in robes and look like nuns. And they're on Skellig as well. That's the worst thing. Everyone thought that they were alone. Again, did they need to unveil this before you see it at the cinema? Did people need to know this? I don't think so. The Porgs were kind of known, and they're going to sell toys of them, but these, turtle nuns. I get it's a Jedi temple, but do you really need? I mean, we had the Inquisitor as the original Jedi Temple guard. Was this like Generations 1's guards, like turtles? I don't know.
Again, it's great because they're obviously real. They're animatronic. and they had said in the build that Luke there are residents of the Skellig that he's on, of I can never remember the name of the actual island that they've called it.
Anch Toe or something like that. It sounds stupid.
It's along those lines. Yeah, I haven't got my tongue around that yet. Until I see the movie, these things tend not to stick until I've actually seen the film. But yeah, so I mean, yes, we were told there's going to be other people on the island and the planet. So I guess you're going to see these creatures, and I'm guessing they'll probably play into maybe around the training, or if something happens to the island, maybe at some point. As we've seen pictures of Luke in front of fire in the trailer, and if that's going along with these. But yeah, I mean, it's great. They're animatronics, they're real. There's, again, no CG to be seen here. Everything we've seen, this is obviously all shot in camera, which is the one thing I can say I adore about it. But yeah, it's again, until I get some context, they look great, but they do look like turtles. You are right. Now you've said that, I can't escape that image.
Yeah. And that is all of the EW pictures. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. I think we're going to get new trailers soon.
I think they're building us up towards it. Yeah, it's the fact that we are entering. I think we might get it just before Force Friday or on Force Friday. But I'm sure somewhere in America we'll get it very soon. That they're going to announce they're going to be showing it. It'll be an American football game, or was it Good Morning America who've got the Amaze thing that they got everyone hyped for? And everyone's like, oh, okay. But yeah, so I think you're right. I think it's going to be coming very soon. I think we'll be talking about it, reacting to it once that lands. And I think George is absolutely spot on. I would expect, I don't know, within the month.
Yeah, I definitely see it coming soon now. There's too much stuff coming out. If they're going to release Snake merchandise, image of him. Should we move on to the next one? We're actually on bullet point 2 now. We have a Last Jedi pop-up, and the cup toppers have been unveiled as well. These are the things that are going to be coming out on sale during, well, not during Force Friday. These are going to go on sale at the cinemas when the film comes out, and you literally just have a tin list of the Last Jedi poster, and we've got a couple of cup toppers for Rey, BB-8, Black BB-8, the First Order Executioner, and the Praetorian Guards. What do you think?
I mean, I've seen them when I've been getting on the opening weekend. Obviously, got the midnight showing, and I've seen them. I've never actually purchased anything with them. I always get the tin and the drinks cup, the drinks cup that comes with it, but I've never actually purchased one the actual toppers for that. Again, they're very much, they're quite cool, but they very much look like a Kindrake sort of thing. There's not much to them really. I do like the look of the trooper with the blue, or is it black? I don't know if it's blue or black on the top of his helmet. But I do really like the look of that, and I love the black BB-8 or BB-9, I believe as he is given the model number of. I love that he's got the different head style as well. But yeah, so while they're great, and I've seen them, they're not something I'll be getting. Definitely the tin. I'll keep knowing. I've got one, the Force Awakens. I've got a Rogue One, so I'll be getting the Last Jedi tin.
Yeah, I got a Rogue One tin. I've still got it on my desk. But it's always funny because with Rogue One, I think they released like 3 or 4 tins last year, whereas with this, it looks like just the one, which is fine with me. I think a lot of people will be fine with that. The toppers are always interesting, so I buy one each year and then end up binning it eventually because there's just no room for it, and they just gather dust, and you don't want to be drinking out of something with dust on it. But I thought there would be a Luke one, but I guess if they want to sell them to kids to get their parents to buy them for them, then it makes sense to have, oh, what about Black BB-8, Mum? And yeah, there you go. BB-9, he's BB-8 that's colored black and chopped half his head off as well.
It's that kind of merchandise, and it's going to come that way. They're going to aim at kids as much as they can for a lot of the merchandise that comes out. We as older collectors kind of go, oh, what they're doing, but at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff we are collecting is toys. So you do get it from time to time. You're going to think, oh, that's why they're bringing that out, and then you think, oh, yeah, they're for children and us. But yeah, it's something that I'll say. I'm not got a massive interest in them. Apart from, I do love that poster. I loved it since it came out. To have a tin with that poster on, I'm very excited for.
Definitely. Oh, it does look amazing though. Another thing I guess we could say, speaking of images quickly, they've images have come online. Do you remember the Last Jedi character posters? They chop their heads off. They put them in red, and I think they come out D23. Someone, not officially by Disney, but someone just has found the real images in like high quality, all of them with their faces on. The text, it's just the original images. There's no text on them, nothing, and they look nice. They look like you can use as a poster for your phone if anyone wants some new backgrounds. Haven't put them on our Facebook yet, but we'll upload them. But it's just very quick character images that's been uncropped, and they look a lot better than the normal posters did do.
I'm with you completely on that, actually. I prefer them with the full head on there. So I really do like them. You're right. As phone screensavers, I thought, could I have my son? Should I have General Leia? General Leia is on my phone because that's just the kind of dad I am. But yeah, so they look. I love those posters when they first leaked, when they came out. They look brilliant in that red against everything that's coming towards this Last Jedi, and I just think, yeah, those images are great. I quite like the cut-off head version, but the Leia one I had to have the full version of. It looks amazing.
Definitely. And then I guess next thing we know, we're almost at the end of the Last Jedi news. It's come out over the last few days about George Lucas, and all the headlines are jumping around saying he's still been offering his input on the Star Wars films. And I've tried this down, I've read it properly, and all it is, Kathleen Kennedy said in an interview, someone said to her, is George Lucas still contributes to Star Wars films? She just said, he'll whisper in my ear every now and then. Usually it's something specific or important to him about Jedi training, things like that. Quote over. People are getting asked online that George Lucas, the guy that created Star Wars, the guy that owned it, that created all of the backgrounds to all of that, people are upset that he's offered advice on how his product continues. The keyword advice, not you better do this. It's just him offering advice. He's got every right to offer advice. He created it. They'll come to him for some things, and they'll say no. But at the end of the day, they still need to speak to him. And I'm happy that he hasn't just distanced himself. He's still trying to help them out.
I think especially when they're saying it's along the lines of it's stuff to do with the Jedi training, he's not getting himself involved in every aspect of the story, but what he feels is important probably is when he sees that it's going to be about Luke training someone, that of course he's going to have this insight. And how can you not want the maker of that original thought how that process should take place? Even if it's just saying, Luke, if you're going to get him to do this, should do this way. And even if it's just something like that, I think any input that the guy has now, I think he's going to look at this now more as he's looking in from, like, he has to look in from a fan's point of view now. He's not the owner anymore. I think he can take a much more relaxed view about it now. And the fact that he's given Kathleen Kennedy is so close, I think, is a great thing. You know what? He's not shooting these films. People shouldn't be bad mouth. I know a lot of people had a bad time with the prequels and the way he was going with his vision of this, but we're getting other directors' visions now. He's not changed the story. This is, again, Rian Johnson's written the story himself. But to have George Lucas go, this is the way the Jedi work, and that's how I always envisioned it. I'm all for that.
Definitely. I think he's got a right to talk about his own product. There's always been a backlash to him, and you get some nutcases that come out and say she shouldn't have credit for the Star Wars films, and you're kind of like, whoa, like, even the people that said their childhoods got ruined with the prequels, they've got to sit back and think, well, you know what? The worst thing about the prequels were the scripts and Jar Jar Binks. They can say that. That's what they can say. They cannot criticize the world building. They can't. I guess they can criticize the visuals, but what he did for a prequel trilogy is that, as much as I love Episode 7, and George Lucas did criticize Episode 7, he said, there was nothing new in this film at all. You had X-Wings, you had TIE Fighters, you had Death Star, you had all of these. And this is what everyone else has said. And now you've had some people credit him, like, well, you know what, at least George Lucas made it nice. It's like, well, yeah, we've known this all along. She knew it was different eras need new devices. The whole point of the originals was that the universe got to feel worn. The prequels had to be shiny for it to get like abandoned, basically, by the time the Emperor got there in 30 years' time. He made mistakes, as every writer, director, and producer has done across their career. And he's got a right to carry on, and his opinion does matter. And imagine Mark Hamill, not asking George Lucas for help. Mark Hamill loves him to this day still. And I imagine he was speaking to him. And after all, it was George Lucas who got the original trio on board for this franchise before it got sold to Disney.
Yeah, it's the way it has to go. I think we mentioned it was many podcasts back, but we were talking about people who would like to see do a Star Wars film. And personally, eventually, I'd like to see George given one. Just, I don't know if he would ever come back now, but I'd love to see him even just to give a story to a character that he likes, and maybe give him someone like on the offshoots, the standalone films. I'd quite like to see him brought back in. This is his baby, it really is. And don't get us wrong, Disney, as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm concerned, haven't really put a foot wrong. Yes, it was a retell of A New Hope, but they were starting the story out again. And JJ came out and said, yeah, we know that's what we've done. This is how we're building it. And we're going to start from there, and we're going to go through. And now we're going to this new world. And I think obviously going to be much more now about these new cast of characters we've got going forward. And I think exciting times, but yeah, you can't just out and George Lucas and go, no, you can't join this anymore. You sold it, that's it, you're out. Without George Lucas, we'd get none of this. Not one iota of it. There's nothing without him. It's crazy to just write him off.
Definitely. Sorry, I've got some breaking news. Everyone knows Ron Howard's been tweeting loads of pictures. He just tweeted a picture of a... it's not a it looks like an AT-ST driver's helmet. He's put the Empire Looms Large to either that or it's a Death Star, them weird helmets they have. I don't know. Someone will know. Go check Ron Howard's Twitter. That's all I can say. People, just minor breaking news on that one. And it's in the control room. But yeah, back onto the Lucas stuff. It's just people trying to get, they're trying to get the clickbait of what's he doing, what's he not doing. People want to criticize him. People want to do what they want with him. Just leave him to it. And moving on, this is a more interesting one. Star Wars Rebels, our best Phil Bridge was here for this. Sam Witwer, who obviously voices Darth Maul, he voiced Starkiller in Force Unleashed games. He was on a Twitch live stream. He's either gaming or hosting something, I don't know. He said on his stream recently that Dave Filoni told me he was considering putting Starkiller in Star Wars Rebels, and he would have played an Inquisitor. However, they chose against it as it didn't fit the story they're telling. I have a lot of respect for them for doing this decision. I like the first Force Unleashed game, but as a whole concept, it being in the actual Star Wars canon, I would have despised it. And it would have been stupid for him to be an Inquisitor because he voices Darth Maul as well. I'm happy they chose not to include it. It was nice that they were considering it, but the Force Unleashed, it's got a big fan. Well, it kind of has a big fan following, but little moan it's not the Starkiller they liked. And yeah, it was just interesting hearing that. Just to go straight to Dave Filoni, he's considering every option because we've already had, Legends Thrawn's made his appearance. If you're looking at Starkiller, I think the person that Warwick Davis is voicing this year was from the original Thrawn books as well. He's obviously looking at the Legends, bringing some people in, and I guess that was another one they could have added to the list.
It's a strange one, yeah. I think you're right. I don't think he would have fit the Filoni there. We're right at the end of the day. He's not going to fit in that universe. The character is too well known from the video games, and they would want that character and that exact character to come in to be the clone and be under the Emperor. And there's no room for that in the story they're telling. And obviously, with them getting now right towards their end game, to now introduce that into it that would have been a mess. I think you wouldn't have appreciated. People who didn't know who Starkiller was might have been, he was quite cool. But for anyone who's played the games, the first game, maybe not the second one, which is I think plays around half an hour and then you're done and finished. It was very poor the second game. But yeah, I think it would have taken away his force powers we all know of, and they're obviously so over exaggerated in the game. And yeah, at the end of the day, right decision. You're right. I'm glad Filoni is on board with the animation department, and I can't wait to see what they do next. But yeah, so absolutely right decision for me.
Definitely. And I'll take next up. We're going to go through this quickly because we've got a lot more to say there. ILM X Lab, for those that don't know, they tend to do a lot of VR stuff. Obviously, it's a studio within Industrial Light and Magic. They've announced a new VR experience called Secrets of the Empire with a picture of K2SO on Mustafar, the most bizarre combination you've ever seen in your life. And all they say is you can do this at Disneyland in winter. I haven't really gone in depth in VR much at Celebration last year. I didn't do the X-Lab trials and Tatooine stuff. I don't think many people did it. It was an absolute nightmare trying to get a slot for it. This is just another Disneyland thing. I guess this will be able to be at Disneyland World or at Star Wars Land whenever that opens. But I don't know. Like it's just a ride. But now they're giving it VR. Why do you want to go to Disneyland and wear a VR helmet?
I mean, for me, VR is it's a weird thing. I had a good friend who had an Oculus, so I had a go, and he had a Star Wars sort of pre-game where you sit in an X-wing, and then you put me on this little kiddie's ghost train, not even a ghost train, like a little cart, and the motion sickness that I get from a VR headset is quite unreal. It's such a weird feeling. I don't know if people haven't done it. For some people are okay and the really works, but mine, my body knows that I'm not moving, and because of that, I get instant sickness, and it lasts way after I've taken the helmet off. So for me, any of these VR experiences, until they can create something where you're actually moving. Now, I know when they originally looked at the Oculus, there was something you could stand in and you could move your feet, and it would slide, so you felt like you're walking and moving. Until something like that, where I actually feel like I'm moving about as well, VR is totally out for me. I get sick as a dog on it. But some of the images and stuff that you see look great. Some of the immersive worlds, like there's some stuff you've seen in Mustafar they've had, looks incredible. But yeah, it's not for me at all unless people want me to be wearing a helmet and throwing up at the same time.
Definitely, it's such a weird concept. Like, I think my friend had PSVR, and I played Battlefront, and that was cool, but I spent half the time just driving around, looking around the area, and doing the missions. But I don't know VR's. I mean, VR's. I feel like it's gonna be like 3D. I think it's here to stay, but for a maximum of like 5 or 6 years. Like it will phase out eventually. And it's just not accessible to many people. And I get the pumping money, and they're trying to do stuff, and nothing attracts you to something like Star Wars in terms of companies getting money off it. But I don't think a kid would want to get to Disneyland either and wear a headset. I think the kid who goes to Disneyland, they want to go on like a theme park ride. That's just my opinion, but I'd imagine the same for a lot of other people. Last up for the main core news, we have everyone's favourite autography, Felicity Jones. She's been announced as attending New York Comic Con 2017, and she will be signing on the Friday. The key question is, how much is she charging this time? And the answer is they haven't announced it yet. However, you have two choices. You have a Felicity Jones autograph or a Ultimate Collector's Lego Millennium Falcon.
That's not even a question.
It's just ridiculous money. She was 200 quid in August. I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll make it cheaper because she's not a Star Wars celebration, but rumor has it, from what I heard at Comic Con a couple of weeks ago, that Mark Hamill's going to be $300 at New York Comic Con this year, and he's signing for 3 days. She's just there for one. I think she'll be 200 still, or 250. The worst thing is that now more conventions are happening post Rogue One. People are getting more and more Rogue One signatures, and she will probably be one of the final ones to get, I guess, for a lot of people of the core crew. So, although I think one of her autographs costs more than Galen Erso, Kate Erso, and Donnie Yen put together, and I think I could probably put one or two of more people before it got to her price. But yeah, anyone going to New York Comic Con, you want to meet Felicity Jones, start saving now. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like $200 a word. She wants your name double.
Yeah, it's a crazy one. I mean, we've made fun of it since initially happened, and it's a moment of levity for us all when it comes out again. But yeah, it's the prices that they're charging. You're right, and people who are getting posters and things signed who are going to want to be completists, it's going to be tough when they get most of the things signed and they've got only 2 or 3 people they need, and that's when it gets expensive. And I get it. Sometimes it can be a lot of money. It's really nice to meet these people and to get them to sign something, and you've got that, and it's yours. Especially if you're not someone who's doing these to sell them on. This is for you, and you want to have that and to be able to display it and show it off. It's a lot of money to meet someone for a few seconds and sign a poster, and it's great that people save up a lot of money to go to these conventions and do it. But yeah, it's the prices are going up and up and up, and it's pushing a lot of people out of it.
Definitely, it's something that's getting some people ludicrous. I think she's on a contract of tops because she seems like the sort of person that wouldn't want to go to a convention anyway. Next up, we've got the main news done. We're moving on to Phil's favourite Star Wars. Unfortunately, Phil's not here, but we have one bit of news to discuss. There's a Captain Phasma book coming out soon. I'm not sure if you guys are aware. It comes out on Force Friday. And they've come out today, not today, this fortnight, saying there are going to be 3 versions of the Captain Phasma book on Force Friday. Each one will come with a poster of her. The second side will be a new character. If you want all 3 posters and you really need to reconsider what you spend your money on, you're welcome to go to Target, Walmart, and Barnes & Noble to get your 3 copies, all with the exact same cover, all with one same Captain Phasma poster. Just on the other side is one other person who no one knows yet, who's probably going to die in that book because they're irrelevant to the plot of the Star Wars films. Yeah, Captain Phasma book. Is that the end of Star Wars for today?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I try to get into every now. If I've got the Throne book, it's literally sat, and I unfortunately haven't opened it yet. But it's one I really want to get around to. But it's just times when I take these things away and I don't get a chance. And one day I will sit down and read it. Probably, you know what? It'll probably be over like Christmas period, like when I've got a few days to actually sit and do these things. But yeah, it's great. I think they try and do these things now with obviously bringing out, oh, this version's got this, and some. I even read that one of them might have a few. I think it's one of the Battlefront books might have some different content in it by a few pages, which just seems to come on. It's like releasing versions of films with a few extra seconds in and a few extra minutes. Oh, this has got a slightly different cut later on. And it's just, yeah, I don't agree with that. If you bring out a book, bring out a book, and that's the one copy that everyone gets. That's just crazy to keep doing this. And all these different editions on the same day. I would get maybe if they brought it out as a bestseller across the world, they went, you know what, now we're bringing out a new edition. That's fine. That, you know, Harry Potter does that. They bring out the books every few months with a different cover, and you know what, they've done well enough to deserve that. But yeah, for a Phasma book, that how many people are going to get? Phil will definitely get it, and I'm sure it'll be an awesome read, and he'll tell us all about it. But yeah, I think it's crazy to bring out 3 books same day with just a poster with someone else on the back. Yeah, whatever.
Right, let's go to it. We have Toy Shelf. For those unaware, Force Friday is in 16 days. All the merchandise is coming out on sale. We're all going to spend far too much money, and everything started leaking online, which is absolutely amazing that we're seeing what's going to be on sale. However, technically not most of them, but just seeing what's available is just giving you like PTSD to Force Friday 1, where I spent like 400 quid, like inside an hour at midnight online. And what's worse is that something coming out is going to cost like 600 quid, and I'm going to buy it, and that's just one item. Right, let's go for it. Dave, you're with me on this one. Lego. Must have been about a week or two ago. They announced online they've got something bigger and better coming out than anything they've done before. They said they got a picture. They've just recently released a London double-decker bus. They got a picture of the London box, and then they put it in a background to a box with question marks saying, something big is coming, approximately X amount bigger than this. And the box looks absolutely humongous. Then they did the same thing. It goes, the carousel ride has just come out. It has 178 pages. Something big is coming. It has, I think they said, almost 4 times as many pages. And it is, for myself, the first ever Lego instruction book I've seen that's a binder. It's not an instruction book, it's a binder. Okay, something big's coming. And then yesterday, Lego dropped a teaser trailer online, and it was something's coming, and it's in space, and the odd bricks building, and it doesn't reveal what it is, but at the end it said Lego Star Wars, and everyone's known for a long time this is going to be a Star Wars product. There's a new Star Wars film coming out after all, and in all honesty, if they want their biggest ever product to sell, it needs to be something Star Wars related to sell. Rumors left, right, center. What could it be? Millennium Falcon, Collector Series. I was thinking, could it be Starkiller based? Then I thought even Skellig, because that would have been an amazing set with little Luke and Rey on top. And then that trailer dropped yesterday, and I read the comments underneath it, and if you freeze framed it, you could see BB-8 flying past. Straight after, if you pause it, you can see Holo Chest in the corner. And someone clocked on with the radar dish as well. There was the Episode 7 radar dish. And basically what's come out now is that it's obviously the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon, and they've said it's going to go on sale on the 1st of October. It's not been officially unveiled as the Millennium Falcon. However, thanks to the gods over at Reddit, an image has leaked that looks official, but it could be seen as unofficial because it doesn't sound too sort of board membery, where it says the retail price is $699.99, which is going to be probably about
euros.
Oh, euros. So yeah, we're looking at about £650 then. And the big draw of this apparently is that it's going to have almost every minifigure across episode 5 and 6. No, sorry, across the old and new trilogy that's been in the Millennium Falcon before. It's going to have changeable radar dishes in case you want to have the episode 5 or the episode 7 one. Somewhere in the world, a bloke is going to buy 2 boxes to have the episode 5 one next to episode 7 one. And I'm sold. You're sold. We're both selling our souls to fund this. Just a quick thing, I will say, I've got my notes here. The manual is going to be almost 500 pages. That is, I think, more than the first. I think that might be the first 2 Harry Potter books put together in terms of page numbers. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Awesomeness. I mean, yeah, we saw when the teasers started releasing, and we saw about how big the box was and how big the manual was, and then that trailer dropped yesterday, where it was like, yeah, this is definitely a Lego. It'd been rumored, and people had scanned on the box to see what it was and if they could make out. And even then, it was known this is going to be a Star Wars product. Officially, now we are told it is Lego Star Wars. And we are 99.98% sure this is Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. Now, you've probably heard it before. This has been released previously, but an earlier edition. So this set, I believe they said it's going to hold over 8,000 bricks, which is a crazy amount. Now, whether it's going to be much different in size to the first Ultimate Collector Series, I don't know. When that came out, I think it retailed around about the £350, £400 mark. If you want to buy that Ultimate Collector Series today, that ship, you can drop £1,200 to get that original. For people who I know are part building it, who buy the bricks just separately to build these things, if they've missed them, there is a across the back light of the Millennium Falcon to get that piece, because it's only ever been released in that set, in that colour. You're looking at over £100 for a bit of plastic to complete your collection if you're doing it that way. This is going to be immense. I have to have it. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I don't know where I'll get the time to build it. But I think the thing that came out on Reddit said it was releasing 1st of October, and its close date was December 2018. So you've got if that's true, you've got a year to get it before it's gone. And who knows when they've released 2, and it's been years since the last one. It could be a long time before we get anything like this again. And as a Lego fan, a big Lego fan, it's something, yeah, as I say, I'm going to have. The fact it said in the little blurb, it's going to be, you can change it to over, so you obviously get 2 radars, like George said, a load of minifigures that's come with it. It's just exciting. And yeah, George's right. I'm looking at what I have in my collection, maybe that I can maybe let go, that I just sat, that I think, you know what, that is great, but I want this more. This appeals to every part of me. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm very excited that it's coming. I hope the VIP members do, as they normally do, get a couple of weeks grace on it before it gets. Sometimes it's even in the shop, and people can go and have a look at it, but they can't buy it unless they're VIP members. Which, to be honest, to become a VIP member, you sign a bit of cards, so you can still get the day. It's not a problem, but it's nice to have that. It'll have 1 million points when you buy it to get more Lego with. But yeah, it's. I know George and we've been speaking about off here as well, and it's just, this is something that's it's amazing. It's far too excited to keep talking. I'm just tripping over words at how much in love I can't wait to see the first image. That's what I want to see. That's when I'm bought in already. That will send me over the edge to be outside the Lego shop in mid-September waiting. Yeah, it's amazing. I can't wait.
I feel that we will get this announced. If Force Friday is anything like the 2015 one, they'll do a big live stream the day before officially unveiling the products around the world and all that stuff. Even though most of them do get leaked, I feel that if they're going to announce it, they will drop it on this live stream, or they'll drop a trailer for it on Force Friday. Lego aren't dumb; they just seem to be doing it randomly, but they know this will sell. It does make sense. I never bought the Millennium Falcon from 2 years ago. Part of me would have liked to. If I'd had it now, this is a wink to you, I'd be selling it to get the big one, especially if it's unopened, which I'm not sure if it is for you. But yeah, I mean, with the Lego stuff, everyone knows, like, I bought a lot of the Rogue One Legos. I bought the odd ones since recently on this pop hype. I haven't sold them, but I've kind of put some of them away in the garage, made some more room temporarily, and now this came out, and they're like, well, you know what? I'll just get this. RIP, bank account number 1. Yeah, this is going to be humongous. The thing is, there's so many pieces that I just enjoy building it. I remember I had the Yoda from about 13 years ago. I think we spoke about it on a podcast before. That took me like a day to build, and that was one of the funnest builds I ever did. and I'd imagine that's probably got maybe 1,000 pieces, 2,000 if that. And if I'm thinking of one that's 6,000 or 8,000 pieces, then I should just book a week off work, just chill out. But no, I absolutely cannot wait for this. It's nice to get, you know, something that is collectory, because with the Legos, especially the Rogue One ones, Legos they are rare. They do sell for a lot, but it's never. I think you have to wait like 10, 15 years, and they've got to be open for you to cash in. But I think nowadays there are so many Legos made that you just don't get very often now, because they make too many of them. Someone can probably prove me wrong on that. They easily could prove me wrong on that. But I feel that this will be one that if people are looking to buy and sell, that this will be the biggest one for it, probably since the Death Star 2. I wish it was a Death Star 2 Lego, but it'd be really good for them to split the Falcon. But also, just you're going to get all the Lego minifigures. You got to think like, okay, so you're going to get the original trilogy cast plus the new cast. Like, that's just awesome. Technically, would you get Luke, because he is on the island in the Falcons on the island Episode 8? You might even get your first Lego Porg.
No, I'm not buying it. I'm out. That's it. I'm done. I forget it. I'll save my £650. I'll spend it elsewhere. So yeah, it's the thing that I'm now looking most forward to. Don't get us wrong. It's a big purchase. This is probably if I will get this. I've got a year. If this is right, we're going to get a year release date. If I don't get it straight away, I will get it early part of the new year. I will have it. I will not let this one go by without having it. And you're right, it's a massive purchase. I think this is it's probably what I'd spend over Christmas on all my friends and family and my wife and my son. But I can't let this one go. I was devastated. I missed the last one. I saw it, and it was one of those things people go, "That's expensive, put it back," and it went. And now the price is like doubled, almost trebled to buy a brand new box. Is crazy. And I don't want to keep it in a box. I want it built. I want it in a shelf, and it's one of those. It's probably the size you would probably. I know, George, you built the D'Agostini Build Your Millennium Falcon. I think size-wise, you're probably going to be looking at something fairly similar, if not maybe a tiny bit smaller.
It's basically, I won't be able to. I'll have my second Millennium Falcon that I don't have room for. We can just put it that way. And you know what? It's not too far off the price of it either. Yeah, I just want to do this for the build, in all honesty. Like, I never had, when I was younger, I wouldn't say I was spoiled, but I had a lot of Star Wars Legos. I was happy with getting Star Wars Legos. That's all I ever wanted, then toys. Never had a Lego Millennium Falcon. That was the one thing, that and AT-AT, that always evaded me. I just want to. I didn't, but I should. In all honesty, part of me thought I was going to buy the Force Awakens Lego, but I never did. But now I haven't. I'm kind of happy that I can. I'm going to get the big one, and that's, you know, that's it. That's the waiting of being a kid, that you wanted to buy stuff you couldn't. So when the sticker books go on sale for the World Cup, I think for the Euros and that's World Cup, I just bought a box of the 100 packs inside. As a kid, you'd never get that. It was just fulfilling them childhood dreams, and I think that would be the same by Millennium Falcon. It says a lot about me.
You must have had loads of swaps.
I did. I've probably still got some in the garage, but at least I finished the books. But one box still wouldn't finish at you. That's the downside. Right.
If we don't move on, I'm too excited. I will talk about it all night. And since we've already been going almost an hour, we probably should.
Let's talk about more things that I'm going to spend money on. Pops. For those that are wondering, actually, was it the last time we did an episode, I said I'm not buying any Pops next month, and I sent a message to the group chat where I said I'm going to buy 6. No, sorry. I said I bought more than I thought, and I sent a message. I bought 6, and I think Phil goes, Jesus, and I put the asterisk over, no, 16. I'm waiting for 8 of them to arrive. They should come tomorrow, but that was a very good deal of Pop in the box. If people haven't been on that site, 5 for £40, I bought 10. But no, episode 8 Pops is leaked. This was brilliant. They leaked online. We know what we're going to get. So first up, an image of Poe leaked with the back of the box. The back of the box always has what one to expect, but then we also got the actual figures leaking as well. So I go for the 9 figures first. We have Supreme Leader Snoke in his golden robe, Rey in her new training gear of a lightsaber, one of Snoke's Pre-Orient guards, which looks like the worst pop I've ever seen in my life because it's just a red head. We've got Poe Dameron, who looks exactly like Cassian Andor. We've got Kylo Ren with his scar. We've got Luke Skywalker that looks far too much like Han Solo without an arm. Spoiler alert. We have something amazing, the First Order Executioner. We have Chewbacca, who is actually holding a porg, but on the box art, it looked like he was holding a bag of cocaine. I'm not joking either. And then we have an image of Finn in his of the gear. So they're the 9 images we have, but there are 4 more coming out. We have BB-8 with like an axe or something coming out of him. We obviously have a pop of Rose as well. We have, I've forgotten the final 2. That's not very good. But there are 13, but the 9 going on sale on Force Friday, and I think the other 4 are probably going to be exclusives elsewhere. But yeah, I think we've got pictures, individual pictures on our Facebook. You want to look at some of them. Sorry, we're getting a Porg pop on its own. I forgot that was one of the other ones. Of course, I'd forget that. Of course, it needs it. Then there'll probably be some rare flocked Porg toy or something else. But yeah, 13 pops. I think getting a Poe Dameron's helmet, getting the Millennium Falcon. What's possibly next?
It's crazy. I mean, the Porg thing, not the Porg thing, that's how obsessed I am with and hating them. The pop thing, obviously, George was dead set against it. As if you've watched any of these, listened to these podcasts from the start, George is very dead set against pops. And then he got some and it's exploded for him. It's become a big thing. I've got about 15-ish pops, all the ones. So there are some, I think you're spot on with the Cassian look on Poe. I think the model might be literally the same body with a very slightly changed head. Luke, I don't know, I thought his hand was missing as well, but I think that's his gloved hand. I think it's just exactly the same color as his robe. But what is interesting on there is, and a lot of people have pointed out, they just have a kyber crystal around his neck. And, let the speculation begin of which kyber crystal that is. Is that of his saber? Is it not? Is it someone else's saber that he may have had a lightsaber from? But yeah, they look great. I love the Chewie one. No point. It's this. Oh, have we got breaking news, George?
No, just saying that the final pop I forgot is Black BB-8. Because obviously, normal BB-8, they've already done 2 variants now. They did thumbs up last time. They've done the axe. They obviously want Black BB-8 to do a normal one. Then there'll be Black BB-8 variants. And I'm sure BB-8 will have a new device for them to do another pop for.
Of course, because that's how pops keep on creating themselves. They will bring out the same characters over and over again. Slight differences. Again, out of all I really love that new Stormtrooper with the paint on the helmet. It kind of reflects back to the Clone Wars, like the Clone War era, where they did use colors and paint jobs on the helmets, which I actually really like. And I think, I love the original Stormtroopers, but this one, I'm drawn to it every time I see the picture of it. I really like that mark on the head and the helmet. And I love Finn in his Imperial gear. I absolutely love that one.
Definitely. It's nice seeing Finn. I mean, someone said to me, oh, that's a spoiler. Like, no, because it's in the behind-the-scenes video. Like, it's intentional. And we got saw about Finn later on. But, yeah, the pots, we knew these were coming. I mean, I'll be there Force Friday. I'll get these. The good thing about pops is we don't get them all on day one, because I guess this is the first general wave. They're going to be around for at least a couple of months. Anyone interested in how the number thing go? At the minute, I think they're up to number 189. And then the one that's been available, a pre-order for TIE Fighter, says 221. So there's going to be 30 pops for episode 8, basically. And then obviously there's new Star Wars one coming out in May as well, which everyone's forgotten about. So I'm guessing there'll be another 20, 30 because, Han Solo, young Han Solo, there's going to be such a gigantic difference for them to sell toys with. But I guess Lando looks like he's got a snazzy wardrobe, so they'll probably do 5 pops of Lando.
You're so right. It's quite scary. We'll get a million Lando pops in every outfit that you put him into.
Definitely. Let's move away from pops. Something I stopped buying, thank God. Some of the first wave of Episode 8 Black Series figures have leaked online. We have, individually, we have Rey and Luke, as were in the box at Comic-Con, so they're going to come out normally. Kylo Ren without his mask, so you've got the sky and the lightsaber. So basically the unmasked Kylo Ren pop from last year, just with a slight line up his face. And then we've got Finn in the Imperial costume. The issue with these is that they're keeping the red backgrounds, which a lot of people have kicked off about, because I personally, one of the reasons of buying them was because of them. They looked absolutely awful. And the numbers on the side, they grew out of hand. I think they're on like 46 now. And apparently, this hasn't been confirmed yet, the rumor is they're going to reset the numbers on the side of the Black Series boxes, so it'll be a red background still with new numbers, which means that if you have number 1, probably Luke, then it'll be the same as number 1, which I think was Rey from Force Awakens era. It's just absolute nonsense. Part of me is happy that I stopped buying these. I would love the Comic-Con ones, but the prices they went for was disgusting. Yeah, this is probably more suited to you than me, I guess now.
Yeah, I mean the Black Series is something I got quite heavily into after I got a couple of them. But yeah, these figures that are coming out, and I say if they're right, if they're starting the number system again, it just seems a really bad move for collectors who want those on their shelf. They want those to be shown as number one through, and then you want to start with one again. But I mean, some of them are great, but I've thought more and more about it. It is something I'm maybe thinking of moving away from, solely trying to get bigger items. So I think what I might be doing is keeping the Comic-Con ones, the 40th anniversary, but outside of that, and sort of any of the special ones like the Kylo, I've got the Ben, the Obi-Wan, I've got the Kylo Ren. I'd like the new land speeder. I'd quite like the first Imperial TIE fighter they brought out, the First Order TIE fighter, the massive one. I'd quite like that. So I'd quite like to keep some special, but I think a lot of the other ones I might go away from and just concentrate on the special ones, sort of like the 40th anniversary packaging, which is all based on the vintage, which is what I'm really into. So it's kind of, I'm in a flux with my collection at the minute of what I'm moving into, and it's hard because I used to just want everything, and that's just not sustainable at all on any sort of income to want everything that comes out. I've seen some pictures where that's all you see. People have got everything, every figure. So it's gonna be a tough one because I love the artwork on the 3 3/4 inch figures that are coming out for the Last Jedi. So they're going to probably be things that I'm going to build up towards, but I think I'm going to have a big sort of condensed down of my collection as well, mainly because I want some spends for that Millennium Falcon and my Poe helmet, because I've got the Stormtrooper helmet, I've got a proper Darth Vader helmet, so I want the Poe one to go alongside those. I think I'd quite like a couple of the hot toys. The Tarkin hot toy that we talked about last episode is something that I still really want. But yeah, so the Black Series look great, but I'll take some judgment before I get any. I don't know if I will. I'll probably just look out for the special versions that were Comic-Con exclusives. So you get the different box art and things like that.
Yeah, it's the same here. Like I used to absolutely love the Black Series figures, and I had so many. I saw them all for Celebration last year. I took a vow that I would only keep my rare ones. So I've got, looking at the shelf, I've got the San Diego Stormtrooper from 2015, got Ben Kenobi from 2016, got Celebration Kylo Ren. I did keep my Boba Fett one because that is a rare one. I got it signed by Jeremy Bullock, so that looks kind of nice on the shelf. And I would have loved Thrawn and the Rey/Luke one, but the prices are just disgusting. I guarantee they will drop down over the next year. We said this about Pilot Luke from the anniversary ones, but that didn't happen. The entirety of that base is, well, trying to get Wave 2 is an absolute nightmare, and that's all down to Hasbro saying that UK doesn't like them, so we're not going to ship them. So I think Wave 2, I think I've seen them go for 700 quid, Wave 1 and 2 together on eBay. Whoever wants to pay that, that's on you, fair play. But it's just risky. They were amazing, but they made enough of them, which is really sad because they were some really good figures. But no, I'm going to try and get the Comic-Con ones cheap. But these, of the new ones, again, I mean, 2 of them are going to be in a dual box set together. Kylo Ren's the same. This really, I mean, you could just carve a line if you really did care that much. The Finn one does look cool, but there will be some exclusives across the next year. I guess the next big cons like San Diego next year, if there's no Celebration, maybe New York Comic Con if they want to play a little game. But yeah, Black Series is it's such a shame. I mean, they lost quality on them as well. They really milked it. They basically replaced the 3 3/4 inches with Black Series. I guess now, well, what they're trying to do for episode 8, I feel like they're going to try and revert back into the old format of the 3 3/4 inch ones for kids with the Force Link, the talking stuff they're doing in episode 1. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do next. Should we move on to the next one? For the B-list version of the Black Series, the Disney Elite Series figures, which there are some awesome ones, granted, but they're just so far behind Black Series, they'll never be able to catch them. Leaked images come of the Praetorian Guard from episode 8 and the First Order Executioner. However, the First Order Executioner, which is called in the pops in the merchandise department, is being called a First Order Judical in this. What a stupid name, First Order Judical. Just call it the Executioner still. I guess because it's a Disney figure, it can't be allowed to be called an Executioner because it's too violent for little kids, although it's grown and buying them. But yeah, we've had the first 2 figures leaked of them. just goes back to that prediction earlier. The Praetorian Guards are going to be all over the merchandise for this year.
Yeah, I've got quite a number of the Elite series that have come out. But again, there was something that you started out and you thought they looked great and the quality on them was great. And again, they brought them out for Rogue One and the quality dropped off a little bit on some of them. The painting's not great. Had a Jane one, and she's very much Disney-fied. Look in her face, very big eyes. And there are some really cool ones. I've got the R2-D2 they brought out is awesome. I keep him lovely. He's on my desk. He's great. He looks awesome. But then 3PO wasn't the correct size and scale. So yeah, I mean, there are some great looking ones. The Stormtrooper they brought out for Rogue One was great, but not enough for me to keep on going. I think it'll be the odd one if it really takes my fancy. I think that's how I'm going to take these things if it really grabs me and not grabbing everything.
Definitely. Next up, the interactive Porg. It's basically a Furby. Let's move on. You can now pre-order the Tarkin Sideshow collectible, which you spoke of a couple weeks ago, at only $235. They're doing a bundle with Darth Vader for $470. So to me, that's not a bundle because you're just doubling the price for another figure. They're calling it a 40th anniversary bundle, but to me, that's literally buy one, get the other for the same price because they'll look better as a 2 than a 1. Tarkin looks amazing, but Sideshow is something I've said before I can't take the risk and go into because it needs to be a one-shot done deal. They look absolutely amazing as they would do, but the Tarkin does look pretty cool.
Yeah, as I think I've said the last couple of weeks when we mentioned this coming out, I've never gone into like the Hot Toys thing. I've got a Sideshow R2 who's great, but this looks incredible. I love the Tarkin figure, and if I was going to take a jump, this would be the 1. I don't think I couldn't go with the double jump for Vader as well. So definitely would only be this figure for me. But yeah, so I mean, if you have a look on the website, you want to have a look on Hot Toys or Sideshow, they've got the pictures up of him. He looks incredible. So yeah, I think it's well worth if you've got the money spare. He's not cheap at all. But if you want something that's going to look as close to the mini version of the actor on your collection, then the Hot Toys Sideshow Tarkin is where it's at. But yeah, you're right. To double them up with the Vader, to go, yeah, look, they're together. You can create scenes. Those aren't the figures to create scenes with. They are to stand and look beautiful. But yeah, to then just say we've got some Vaders left, let's package them together. Yeah, that's not for me. Definitely the Tarkin, but yeah, I wouldn't be double dipping for the Vader either.
Definitely. Right, that is Toy Shelf done. Like we said, Force Friday is the big one for this. God knows what else is going to leak in the next fortnight. I don't think it'll be as much. These seem like the core things, the Legos, unless in the next 2 weeks we get the official Lego details on the Falcon. But moving on, we're in our last section. We have games for this week. We'll start very quickly with there's a couple. I think it was last week we said Disney have bought a domain name, Star Wars Rise to Power. My prediction, it's going to be a mobile game. Definitely, it's a game name. Confirmed yesterday. This new mobile game, Rise to Power, has been announced. It's going to be a strategy game. It's in the alpha. We knew where it's going. The strategy game could be anything. Technically, Force Arena's one of them, and I still enjoy playing it, actually. However, I'm unfortunately addicted to Star Wars Candy Crush, also known as Puzzle Droids at the minute, which is dangerous. But luckily, I don't do them awful microtransactions. I don't know people that do. That's bad. But the big one, Battlefront 2. We've got kind of a chunk of news, I guess we could say, Battlefront 2. We've been given we've been told on Monday next week, it's Gamescom, the second biggest sort of gaming convention of the year in Germany normally. On Monday, EA are going to be doing a live stream of the new mode called Starfighter Assault. This is going to be the main online sort of space battle mode. You're going to be able to do all 3 eras, and they've been releasing images of the ships. Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator has been announced on it, which looks absolutely awesome. I didn't expect that to be in a Battlefront game. I'm guessing that'll be one of the prequel hero ships. We already know we're getting the Slave One through Django. We're already getting Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter, so God knows what else they're going to announce, but it's going to be based, it's a new original map, I guess, probably to the storyline of Battlefront. It's like an Imperial shipyard in space. Don't know. But that's going to be streamed next Monday. I'm looking forward to that. I will be at work when it comes on, but I will be watching that as soon as I'm home. But then even more Battlefront 2 news, they've been unveiling a lot of the classes. They're in a phase now where everyone's sold and they're just really building up the hype. It's not a Battlefront 1 where people were unsold in April, and it became from them trying to get them to buy it in November. Now it's, what can we keep adding that's going to make you go mental? And they've given us a couple of images of the heavy trooper classes, sort of, you know, the first order heavy trooper, they have that weird shotgun thing around them, them sort of things. But then we get to the important ones. They announced the special classes this week. And like the first Battlefront game, they're not the hero levels, they're not normal, they're that mid-ground. They said you're going to be able to play as these, not regularly, but you get the points for them. It's not going to be like the special ones in the first Battlefront, who were only, you can only play as them if you had Leia, Tarkin, the Emperor, or the special bodyguards. These are going to be their own categories now. And for special classes, we've got some images. They look absolutely stunning. First up, we have everybody's favorite Death Troopers. They look absolutely beautiful. I really hope they put the sound effect on this time of them with the little sonic screech. We have a Wookiee, which is in a trailer, but seen that close up, looks incredible. The render. Chewbacca looks abysmal in the first Battlefront game. This looks like they've actually put effort into making it look like it's a Wookiee, not that it's like a mop, because it literally, Chewbacca was literally a mop, like he had like 10 giant strands for his hair. Then we have the first sort of flame trooper, which looks absolutely beautiful, stunning. And then we have the super battle droid from the Clone Wars era, and they've also announced that we will get clone jump troopers. If you weren't sold on this game before, even seeing these render of the pictures, they look like the films now. They literally look like they've come straight out of promotion. They look like they're ready to go play as a real life, but these are a game. And I feel that this is genuinely going to be one of the biggest games ever made, and it looks so good. And I'm so happy to announce that I finished setting up my new setup for it. I got the 4K PS4. I wasted way too much money recently, but it's all for Battlefront 2 and it will be worth it.
I mean, the pictures, you're right, that have come out, stuff, like you said, that the flame trooper looks incredible. That looks, the photorealism on these things now is getting quite ridiculous for a game. I mean, yes, we're into the 4K era, and you would expect it to get way better, but I mean, to be in an age where graphics are getting this good on something that you play is amazing. I had a Commodore and a Spectrum when I was young, and you had tape cassettes that these things loaded on, and this is just, it's an amazing thing. I mean, that Death Trooper, if that could walk across the scene in Rogue One, yes, that's the right film, yeah, Rogue One, and you wouldn't be amiss that walked past. That looks crazy good. And you're right, the speech has to be on there. That sound, the undefinable speech has to be on there. It really does. They must have the sound file. Didn't use it in Rebels when they showed up, but I'm guessing that's because they were probably a very late edition, I would have thought. The Wookiee, you're right, looks amazing. I don't know if it's a Wookiee that we've met before. It's supposed to be, but just looks, you're right, looks great. Looks like they've actually paid attention to how fur should actually sit on these things. I'm excited for the game, and I'm not, I've said it before on the thing, I'm not a massive gamer, but everything that I've seen coming from this game is a yes from me. It really is. I might even go online and die some more really quickly, but I'll give it a go because it looks that good, and I want to try these things out. First person is where it'll be for me, but I'll be getting this day of release. I can't wait. And I think once we get the footage of the starships they're going to show, I think we'll probably jump on at some point and have a quick, just even if like we did last time, talk about it and just say what it looked like, because I think a lot of people out there like to hear about these things. It's probably one of our most listened to episodes, is us talking about the Battlefront 2 footage that came out. So I think we'll definitely drop something after that shows, because I think from everything else that's built up, it's going to look amazing. It's going to look incredible.
Yeah, I honestly cannot wait. I've got my pre-order in. I've had it since the day the pre-orders went live. That special version, you get it 3 days early. 4 if you get it off shop2.com, giving you a bit of hint to your English viewers. They always give you games a day early. It just looks phenomenal. And the fact there's still no paid DLC, the fact they're still sticking with that's insane. But I just can't wait to see some more gameplay next week. Flying is my absolute favorite thing to do on the games. I love going on strafe runs on Battlefront 1. You literally just go across Hoth in a TIE Interceptor. It's so wrong to go across Hoth in a TIE Interceptor, but just drive up, drive downwards, shoot at them, then just carry on flying. It's like a scene out of Dunkirk, and I just can't wait to see. They're not even chucking the jacks out of the card yet. No, that's I've done the phrase one, doesn't matter. I'm just so hyped at the minute. When they unveil the final heroes, that is when I really think people will be screaming, and I've got a feeling they'll probably do that in about October time. They'll find a way to announce all the Star Wars stuff. But yeah, I can't wait.
It's going to be an amazing time. Stuff's going to be coming out. I mean, we've got beginning of September, we're getting all these new toys releases and all the new merchandise. We're going to get this in November, and then we're going to get the film in December. So we're in for a 3 months filled where if you were on board with this channel and like what we put out there, there's going to be a lot of content coming out. We'll be getting, there's going to be so much around to talk about. These episodes are probably going to be quite lengthy. I mean, it's just me and George. We've gone over the hour mark, just the two of us. So it's just a great time, and all this stuff that's coming out in the build of film. And we've got, like George said earlier, there's a Han Solo film that's coming that people seem to be pushing aside and not really talking about. And I'm sure as soon as December hits, people are going to go, oh, we've only got to wait 4 months, 5 months until we get into the Star Wars film. It's a great time. It's exciting. And George is right. It looks phenomenal. I can't wait to see what it looks like on George's setup with the game in play. It's going to look incredible. Maybe we can get George signed at Twitch and get you on there. I just think it would be it's going to be epic. It's going to be great. I think if me, you, and Phil get a line and you guys can shoot me to death really quickly, it'll be great. It'll be a good experience.
Definitely. I cannot wait. And we haven't got a cantina talk tonight because everyone knows how long this episode's been. We've had so much stuff to get through. So I'm going to attempt to do a wrap-up without Phil. What I will say is, before I say the final words, is please like, comment, share, subscribe on our videos. If you listen to us in MP3, then obviously you will receive on iTunes or SoundCloud, which is where a lot of people come near our podcast. We've got a YouTube page, which we haven't added too much to. With Force Friday coming up, we're going to have a load of unboxing videos. We're going to have more stuff. There's going to be Battlefront videos going up there. There's going to be a lot more stuff going on the channel from September till December, I guess we could say. There's new artwork that's going to debut very, very soon, which we're working on. I cannot wait for that. That's going to kickstart our kind of journey to The Last Jedi. But yeah, stick with us. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode. 2 days after that, we will have some Force Friday stuff. Phil and Dave will be in London. Unfortunately, for unfortunate, ridiculous commitments, I cannot actually attend. So I will be there at midnight pressing purchase and everything to pick up the following morning.
Only thing I do want to add to that is, yes, Phil and I are going to be in London for this. Last week, Phil announced that we'll be outside the Disney store. However, we have contacted the Disney store, who at this moment in time said they don't have the plans to open at midnight. I think that's craziness, and they're just not letting it out yet. Phil got in touch with me, he'd phoned Disney, and they said, no, not at the moment. But it's crazy they're not going to open. I can only see them opening at midnight with everywhere else. It hasn't been announced anywhere yet around the country where it's going to be, but we will be in London no matter what. For some stores will be opening. We will be there for Force Friday in a queue somewhere. So yeah, it'll be good times, and we'll be spending some money and having a bit of a laugh. It's a shame George will not be there, but yes, he will be online. Just saying, and we'll be able to show all that. We will have some unboxing videos. This one Phil won't be as sad in, but it'll be good to get some new things on the channel as well. So as George said, yeah, just like the videos, please. If you've got any comments, drop them on there. Yeah, and if you do listen to us on iTunes or SoundCloud, please just, if you want to leave us a review, that'd be great. The more stars and the more likes and reviews we get on there pushes up our podcast as well. So it'd be all really appreciated.
Definitely. I guess it's everything from this week's episode of One to the Force. We can now breathe because this has been a long talk. Yes, let's go for the outro. I am George. May the Force... is that Rogue One Crow? I'd always forget.
Oh, bless you. We've been One to the Force. May the Force of others be with you.